Hello and welcome to the 30k channel, a channel dedicated to games set in the HORUS Heresy. I'm your host, David Brains, and today I've been joined by Ollie and Neil. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Really great to have these guys on the channel. We've got Death Guard and Raven Guard. Bit of a double bubble, really, if you're a Death Guard Raven Guard player, because obviously they were previously at the beginning of the month, and now we've got you kind of midway. But really great to have you back. Or not back, sorry, not to have you back, but to have you on. Lovely armies.
Thank you.
Really
they
great.
do look good.
They do look really great. You know, Raven Guard is a real tricky one to get hold of because people struggle to paint black, and I think you've pulled it off quite well.
I don't know why people struggle to paint black. I really don't.
It is hard.
I don't find it difficult.
It is hard.
It sounds really bad, but I don't. I find the brighter colours a lot more challenging than black. Just grey tones to me.
I don't know. People that paint Raven Guard, they end up either dry brushing or just lining every panel, and I don't think it works. I think you need that. It does, eh? You need that subtle kind of gradient in the greys into the black, but because also when you look at the models, they're perhaps a little bit more greyer than they are black, aren't they?
It's deceptive.
Yeah. It's good. We love Raven Guard. Not enough players out there playing Raven Guard, so it's lovely to have Raven Guard on. And Ollie, we've got your Dirty Death Guard.
Very beaten up Death Guard.
Yeah, love these.
It's a style. You can't have clean Death Guard. They should be.
Absolutely. So you've also got Typhon out the front there as well, haven't you? Leading the force. Really great model. He's in the Grave Warden kind of esque style armour, isn't he? And he's really cool.
Captain of the Terminus Est.
Yes, of course.
With his Grave Warden cadre.
Of course. Gents, we must first of all thank Ollie and Neil for the effort they've put in today. I know you've come from Southampton. Quite a way.
Drive.
Yeah, and then you drove to Ollie and you travelled thereafter, didn't you?
Picked him up, yeah. My chauffeur for the day. Yeah. You're welcome.
So heaps of effort. You must have left at what, 6-ish?
No, I travelled up last night actually.
Okay.
Stayed at his place with
okay.
Depending on how the game goes, how he gets home.
Oh God!
I should have made sure you were staying tonight as well.
Yeah.
We'll make sure there's a bus going your way.
That's your first mistake.
There's been some really lively chat this morning between these two. We do a bit of a board review and a mission and work out what's going on, but it's quite lively, isn't it?
Yeah, we like a little bit of
sparring partners.
Warhammer banter.
It's really good. And you two have known each other for a while as well, haven't you? You met gaming, I guess, or
6 years? Yeah, it's nearly 6 years, isn't it? Yeah. There was a big, huge 30k sort of apocalypse game that was organised by a mutual friend. We were both invited, ended up playing on the same day and for the same side, and ultimately winning, hopefully. I can't remember if we won or not, to be honest. Okay. I just rolled lots of dice.
We won day 1 and we lost day 2.
Oh, okay. Well, we knew. 50% success.
That's good. It's good to see Heresy bringing people together. It's always a good thing.
Met a lot of friends through that, so
it's
always good.
It is good. And I met Ollie for the first time last weekend. We're at a Scribes of War event hosted by Chris Gibson in Stratford upon Avon, yes. I had no idea who Ollie was. He came up to me and went, I'm coming on your channel next week. I was like, all right, okay, cool. So lovely to meet you last weekend.
Thank you.
We had a good time, I think, didn't we?
It was definitely a good day. I had great fun.
Yeah, I had 4 games in the end, 2 Zone Mortalis and 2 Age of Darkness, and I really enjoyed it. Really good fun.
Yeah.
Phalax did a good job for me, so that was all right. How did you fare? Okay.
I had a good start. I was using my Iron Warriors, my loyal Iron Warriors.
Ah, yes.
We won the first game, and it went downhill from there.
Ah, okay. Oh, well. I was on the loyalist side, and I think the traitors won in the end, didn't you?
They did.
God damn it! But anyway, that's by the by. Let's look at today's game. We've got a very heavily, densely populated city, I guess, haven't we? With a large... I love a staircase. If anyone's watched the channel, I do love a staircase. I think it's just the drama that they put into the board.
The gravitas of the Imperium.
Absolutely, yeah. Putting those larger buildings on a higher pedestal than the lowly peasants below. But so we've got quite a large featured house. It's got a bit of industrial part to it, I guess. And then a massive staircase that's been fortified, so a very important building. And then we've just got the rest of the chaff buildings before it in the kind of the lower level segment. I almost forgot the list that these 2 gents were taking. I knew one of them had a super heavy, but I couldn't remember if the other one had or not. So I did build the terrain quite dense to kind of mitigate, because super heavies, they kind of have a couple of shots and then that's kind of the game done, really, isn't it? Yeah. I think the board will do really well to kind of stop you from getting that first turn killer shot.
It'll contain them a bit.
Yeah.
To start off with.
You've got to work for your money, I think, on this one.
Have to for this one, yeah.
And I think it'll work really well because we're playing Dawn of War and we're playing Shatter Strike, and you've essentially got exchange deployment zones with each other. And there's a little bit of a 12-inch gauntlet which both armies will have to run to get into the deployment zone. But then there's the large kind of building on top of the hill, I guess we'll call it, or the promenade, or whatever you want to call it.
Town hall.
Town hall. Let's call it a town hall. So there might be some movement through the town hall, which I think the Raven Guard will be particularly good at.
There'll be some infiltrating hijinks, I imagine.
Absolutely.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, and it's worth noting though, both armies are packing some serious firepower. But in particular, Ollie, you've got a lot of firepower.
Yes and no.
Yes.
Yes is the answer to that question. Yeah,
It looks powerful, but you haven't seen my dice rolls yet, so we'll see.
Well, I think with Grave Wardens putting out, 40 templates a turn? No, 20 templates a turn. I think you'll be all right.
What range are they?
18.
Okay.
Yeah, 6-inch move, 18 range. And you got that Fellblade with a massive, twin-linked super shot. But you've got some artillery, but we've got a lot of terrain on the board, so the Raven Guard will be
got a lot of moving units, so pinning them down
as I should have. Yep, lots of speed.
But moving on to your list, you've got a couple of melters, or a melter team, haven't you? The Mordathon with the melters.
Yeah.
Good to see them without the sniper rifles this time.
Yeah, I've never actually found a way to make the sniper rifles work for me effectively. But my best use of these ever was to put them with combi flamers and an Anvilus, bring them down, and they just absolutely shred whatever they hit. They leave themselves open after that, but as long as you kill the target, job done.
They are a suicide unit.
They are, but they're really good. They really do kill stuff well. And there's I always put tactical squads and things in rhinos because the Raven Guard rules allow them, if they're in the transport, to outflank and infiltrate. So quite useful for maneuverability.
It's good, and you've got the Sky Slayers there with the melter guns. I think they will help you out.
Yeah, they're fast,
and it's good to see a Xiphon as well. I haven't seen one of those for a little while.
Yeah, I'm the line between Xiphon and Fire Raptor, and I quite like the Xiphon.
Yeah,
that was an aesthetic choice, I have to say, not a kill choice. Really.
I love the Xiphon. We see a lot of Fraptors, as we like to call them, on the channel. They do really, really well. But also, you've got an Achilles, isn't it?
Achilles, yeah, standard Achilles. I think it's quite effective. They're very, very resilient. Lots of melter, and you've got the flexibility with the mortar on the front as well. So,
yeah, absolutely.
And they are tough to remove as well. Yeah, hard to get rid of.
And finally, you've got your Stormblade, isn't it?
Stormblade, yes, freshly painted, so I'm sure it will die very, very quickly. I did make sure I had a test game with it in which it was removed before it fired a shot, so hopefully that penance is now paid.
Well, yeah, and this was the point I wanted to make about the board. You won't get a lot of shots off in the first couple of turns, I don't think. But they'll come into their own maybe turn 3, turn 4. And a lot of super heavies we see on the channel, Knights in particular, they die first, second turn because they are such a big threat.
Target.
Absolutely. But because of the terrain we've got and the way that you two have got to manoeuvre to get a reasonable shot off, I think they'll last a little bit longer into the game, I think. Ollie, you've got 12 hull points. Is that right for the Fellblade? And you've got 9.
Ridiculously, yes. That's a different chassis. Yeah, almost as many points.
Yeah,
it does have a very, very big gun, though.
Yeah, has a huge gun.
A big blast of pain.
It's quite powerful, isn't it? 9 strength 9 AP2, strength 10 AP2. I can't remember.
So for the 10-inch, I think it's strength 9 AP2. Yeah, and for the 7-inch, which is still as big as the biggest thing that puts out, it's strength 9. It does pipe it and kill lots and lots of things.
Yeah,
it's great at removing infantry.
So hopefully the board will come into its own in this game to try and mitigate a lot of that absolute devastating firepower which you've both got. But we're really looking forward to this. Again, it's a treat to have Raven Guard on the channel. There's just not enough Raven Guard out there, as I mentioned at the top. And always great to see Death Guard. They're very close to my heart. I haven't quite embarked on Death Guard yet, but maybe if I pull the Solar out this year, I might be able to start Death Guard next year, maybe. But league times are a bit too long for these things at the moment, but really great to see Death Guard. I'm really looking forward to this, Jen.
Me too. Yeah.
Two awesome armies, two very lively guys. Hopefully, we'll see a bit of that come through in the game. I'm sure
we will. Yeah,
absolutely. So let's work out exactly what they've got in their lists, and then we'll see you at the beginning of turn 1.
3,000 points of Raven Guard, led by a Praetor. No Rise of War, and the Master Tactician Warlord trait. Leading the Raven Guard is Praetor Elan Kroll. He has Melter Bombs, Raven's Talons, Digital Lasers, a Jump Pack as you can see, and is going to smite lots and lots of Death Guard. Second HQ for the Raven Guard is a Praevian with Artificer Armour, refractor field, melter bombs, and is accompanied by 3 nasty-looking Vorax battle automata. The Vorax are equipped with a lightning gun on the top, 2 rotor cannons, power blades, and have the enhanced targeting arrays. First elite choice for the Raven Guard is a Contemptor Dreadnought armed with plasma cannon, Dreadnought close combat weapon, and a plasma blaster. Second elite choice for the Raven Guard is a squad of Mordathan, accompanied with a Rhino as their transport. They have combi melters, a single melter gun, and the sergeant is carrying melter bombs and has artificer armor. Troop choices for the Raven Guard are 2 identical tactical squads. We have a Legion Vexella. The sergeant has artificer armor, melter bombs, and both are accompanied by a Rhino. First fast attack choice for the Raven Guard is a Xiphon Interceptor, equipped with armoured cockpit, chaff launcher, and ground tracking auguries. Second fast attack choice for the Raven Guard, 1 squad of Dark Furies, equipped as they are with Raven's Talons. First heavy support choice for the Raven Guard, 1 Jet Bike Sky Slayer support squadron armoured with multi-melters. Second heavy support choice for the Raven Guard, 1 Vindicator Laser Destroyer tank with extra armour, Machine Spirit, and Armoured Ceramite. Third heavy support choice for the Raven Guard, 1 Land Raider Achilles with 2 sponsor-mounted twin-link multi-melters and a quad mortar cannon. Lord of War choice for the Raven Guard, 1 Stormblade with a plasma blast gun, 2 sponsors of las cannons, twin heavy bolters, and a coaxial heavy bolter, also armed with Armoured Ceramite.
3,000 points of Death Guard running the Reaping Rite of War, led by Callus Typhon, the captain of the Terminus Est. His warlord trait, Come the Reaper. Death Guard are led by Callus Typhon, equipped with cataphractii armour, mastercrafted Death Shroud power scythe, hand flame with chem munitions, grenade harness, Nuncio Vox, rad grenades, a one-use chem bombardment. As a level 1 Psyker, his power is hallucination. Second HQ choice, 5-man Death Shroud Terminator Squad. They're equipped with Tartarus pattern Terminator armour, Death Shroud power scythes, and melter bombs. Third HQ choice, Master of Signal Centurion, equipped with Artificer armour, Nuncio Vox, Cognic Signum, Volkite Serpenta, and a Refractor Field. Elite choice for the Death Guard, Contemptor Mortis Dreadnought with twin-link las cannons, smoke launchers, and a searchlight. Troops choice for the Death Guard, 2 identically armed 10-man tactical squads, equipped with bolters, a Nuncio Vox, and a Legion Vexilla. Third troops choice, Tactical Support Squad, 10-man squad, 9 with flamers. The sergeant is equipped with a bolt pistol, chainsword, and an augury scanner. Reaping Rite of War allows heavy support squads to be taken as choices, so we have a 5-man missile launcher squad with an augury scanner and hardened armour. First Death Guard heavy support choice, Medusa Battery. 2 Medusas armed with Medusa siege guns, hull-mounted heavy bolters, smoke launchers and searchlights. Second heavy support choice, 10-man Grave Warden squad. They're equipped with cataphractii armour, assault grenade launchers with crack and toxin grenades, 2 Grave Wardens equipped with heavy flamers with chem munitions. The Chem Master has been upgraded with a chain fist. Third heavy support choice, Leviathan Siege Dreadnought. Armed with a Siege Drill Melter Gun, a Cyclonic Melter Lance, 2 torso-mounted heavy flamers. He's also equipped with Armoured Ceramite, Phosphex Discharger, smoke launchers, searchlight, frag grenades, and extra armour. Final unit in the army, the Lord of War choice, the Fellblade. Twin-link Fellblade Accelerator Cannon, 2 sponsor-mounted quad las cannons, a hull-mounted twin-linked heavy bolter, hull-mounted Demolisher Siege Cannon, Armoured Ceramite, Space Marine Legion crew, smoke launchers, and a searchlight.
Neil, Ollie, we're deployed and ready to go.
We are indeed.
We are.
Absolutely, really looking forward to this. You know, those Death Guard are lined up beautifully. Neil, Ollie, rather, you've got a wall of Terminators, haven't you?
Hopefully they'll absorb the initial blows, so yeah.
And
shuffle
Neil,
them across.
Yeah, and Neil, you've got a lot of stuff that's not yet on the board.
Yes, I have a lot of sneaky units. 2 tactical squads are outflanking Rhinos, as are the Mordathan squad.
Fantastic.
And I've got the Xiphon obviously to come in at some point, and Dark Furies will be deep striking.
Yeah,
sneaking in.
Yeah,
and those super heavies, they're going to need to work for their targets in this game, aren't they?
Yep,
they are. Yep.
We didn't want open shooting, so
no,
good stuff.
Make them move about a bit.
Good. Now, at the moment, the Raven Guard are going first, but the Death Guard want the first turn, don't they?
Definitely.
All right. So
even though they gave the Raven Guard the first turn.
I wanted you
now
to
they're
see
going to
where
try
you
and
are.
seize.
Yeah.
Let's have a friendly handshake, gents.
Good luck, sir.
And let's have a seize.
Here we go. Sorry, Neil. Death Guard turn 1.
Hey.
Death Guard turn 1 movement. Tactical squad and tac support squad with the Contemptor have moved up through cover. Contempt are hoping to line up a few shots on the Stormblade. The Leviathan and Death Shroud have moved into the open space in the front, hoping they can survive the first round of shooting. The Missile Launcher squad have stayed in cover, hoping to line up a few shots. Tactical squad and Grave Wardens have moved up again into the open space, again hoping to get a few shots off and stay out of sight. Fellblade lining up some shots on the Vindicator, and the Medusas again hoping to line up a few shots on the Thorax. Death Guard turn 1 shooting. Mortis Contemptor is lining up his las cannons into the Stormblade opposite, hoping to get a few hull points off him. Needing 2s to hit. Twin linked. 2 hits. Front armor 14. Strength 9 from the las cannons. Needed 5s. Nothing. The Death Guard heavy weapon squad was boosted by the Master of Signal, meaning they only needed 2s to hit, with crack missiles into the Vorax, hiding in cover. 4 hits successful, so strength 8 versus toughness 6, 2s to wound. 4 wounds. Take your cover saves.
Armor saves 4 up save for the Vorax.
3 wounds.
3 wounds.
Using the line of sight from the Tactical Squad's Nuncio Vox, the 2 Medusas lined up 2 shots on the Vindicator Laser Destroyer, causing 2 hits, both penetrating, 1 causing an explosion. End of Death Guard shooting, quite happy with the opening phases. The Medusas and the missile launchers doing me proud. The Terminators, though, are left in the open, so I'm a bit worried about what happens turn 1 from the Raven Guard.
Turn 1 movement for the Raven Guard just completed. Contemptor Dreadnought has moved into the ruins to get a better line of shot against the Grave Wardens. The Vorax have moved up slightly. They're also going to target the same unit, I suspect. Land Raider Achilles had to move so that at least one multi-melt was in range of something. I haven't quite decided what he's going to fire at just yet. Stormblade has moved so that that big old gun on the front can drop a couple of pie plates on something at the back there. And my Scimitar jet bikes just hopped up the top there so they can shoot the Contemptor Dreadnought. Turn 1 shooting for the Raven Guard. Contemptor Dreadnought levelled his plasma cannon at the Grey Wardens, hoping to inflict a lot of damage. Unfortunately, there was a get hot incident and a big puff of smoke and nothing really happened. Plasma Blaster targeted the Grey Wardens also from the Contemptor's close combat weapon and removed one of them as a casualty. The Raven Guard Vorax Automata are now targeting the Grey Wardens also. We've fired 16 shots from the rotor cannons and of course 13 hits. So now we're going to see how many wounds we can get. 5s to wound. That's a roll I'm very happy with. 8 wounds.
8 2-up armor saves. 1 man down.
Vorax are now targeting the same unit with their lightning guns, hitting on 2s. 2 hits. Shred and rending. Doesn't matter, that's wounds either way.
2-up armor saves. We're fine.
Raven Guard Land Raider Achilles now splitting fire for 2 units. We're going to use Machine Spirit to target the Death Shroud with the Multi-Melter, and the other Multi-Melter and Quad Launcher are going to target the Grave Wardens. Multi-Melter at Death Shroud first. We need 3s to hit. We get a hit. We need 2s to wound. No wound, unfortunately. Second Multi-Melter at the Grave Wardens. 3s to hit. Hit. We have wounded with a 6.
Need a 4-up invuln. We survived.
Now we're going to snap shoot the quad launcher at the Grey Wardens. No hits. Raven Guard Stormblade now shooting phase. One las cannon is targeting Leviathan, one las cannon at tactical squad in the centre. The plasma blast gun has already fired its first shot at the Grave Wardens, causing 9 hits. The roll for wounds now, 2 is required. 7 wounds.
7 4-up invuln saves from the Grave Wardens. Cock dice. We have lost 4 Grave Wardens.
Second plasma blast gun shot from the Stormblade, scattered, unfortunately, but did hit the back of the Fellblade, taking a hull point. Stormblade first las cannon fired through the building at a tactical marine, hit him, but unfortunately passed a cover save. Second las cannon fired at Leviathan, did cause a penetrating hit. Leviathan failed its invulnerable save. We got a 1 on the damage roll, but unfortunately because of extra armour, that's decreased back down to 1 anyway, despite the APC of the las cannon. So we have a crew shaken result and -1 hull point. Final shot from the Stormblade, the twin-linked heavy bolter on Sponson fired at the Death Shroud, did cause a single hit, but unfortunately passed the save. Last unit shooting for the Raven Guard, 3 scimitar jet bikes firing at the Mortis Contemptor with their multi-melters. Hitting on 3s. 1 hit. They are in melter range, so we get 2 dice for armor penetration. We have penetrated with a 6.
5-up invuln save.
Damage roll, +2 for melter, AP1. Becomes 4 crew stunned and -1 hull point. End of Raven Guard turn 1. I don't think that went particularly well for me. I'm still suffering the effects of losing the Vindicator. Raven Guard did manage to wipe out a few Grey Warden Terminators, which is good. Most importantly, they shut down the Mortis Contemptor, so he snapped firing now, which should keep the Xiphon Interceptor alive when it arrives.
Death Guard turn 2 movement. The Tactical Flamer Squad has moved up through cover. The Tactical Squad has also moved up, ready to line up some bolt shots on the jet bikes. The Contemptor has held place. Hopefully get a few more snapshots at the Stormblade. The Leviathan has moved up to the building edge, ready to take a few snapshots at the Land Raider. Death Shroud have shuffled up again. The Heavy Support Squad have jumped down from cover and are also advancing. Tactical Squad also advancing with them. The Grave Wardens have taken cover behind the Fellblade, hopefully survive the next turn of shooting. Fellblade has advanced, ready to take out a few shots at the Stormblade, and the Medusas are ready to line up a few more shots. Death Guard shooting turn 2. Flamer Squad lined up shots on the Jet Bike Squad. 2 hits scored, unfortunately no wounds. Tactical Squad rapid fired into the jet bikes. 20 shots taken, 15 hits, 4 wounds scored. Unfortunately, he survived them all. Contemptor Dreadnought took 2 shots at the Stormblade. Snap shooting, unfortunately missed. The Leviathan lined up his Cyclonic Melter Lance at the Land Raider Achilles. Snap shooting, so only on 6s. Scored 1 hit. The Ferromantic Invulnerability negating any melter shots. Unfortunately, failed to pen. Using the line of sight from the Tactical Squad Nuncio Vox, the 2 Medusas took 2 shots at the Vorax and Praven, killing 1 Vorax. Tactical Squad lined up their bolt guns at the Vorax and the Praven. 14 shots, 9 hits, unfortunately no wounds scored. Fellblade Accelerator Cannon lined up its shots on the Stormblade. Direct hit, unfortunately only taking 1 hull point, failing to explode and cause more damage. The las cannons from the right-hand sponson also took shots. 2 hits, unfortunately passing both his cover saves. The left-hand side quad las cannon taking shots at the Contemptor, scoring direct hits, 1 pen, 1 glance. That's 2 hull points gone, and it's stunned. End of Death Guard turn 2. Not as successful as I'd hoped. Troops still out in the open. Few units ready to take a few shots on me, which is going to hurt, and outflanking units arriving soon.
Raven Guard turn 2, movement just completed. First infiltrating units come on in the Rhino, which was the Mordathan. They have disembarked, ready to fire at the Medusas. Contemptor Dreadnought can't move because he was stunned in the last turn. Land Raider Achilles has also remained stationary, ready to fire at Death Shroud. The Vorax has moved up through the buildings, ready to attack the Tactical Squad in front of it. Stormblade's readjusted its position to get a better line of sight on a few different units. Jet Bikes have moved down the steps, ready to target the Leviathan or Death Shroud. The Xiphon has come on from the back of the board. Not quite sure of his targets just yet. The Praetor and Dark Furies have deep struck down onto the back of the board at the steps. And the last unit of infiltrating Raven Guard this turn has come on this side of the board using Outflank, which is a Tactical Squad in the Rhino. Raven Guard turn 2 shooting. The Rhino carrying the tactical squad has moved flat out around the town hall, and the Praetor and his Dark Fury unit have decided to run. Raven Guard turn 2 shooting. Mordathan are firing their combi melters and melter gun at the Medusa squadron. They are activating their fatal strike, so they get twin linked and rending. We've scored 6 hits. 1 was a glance, 5 are penetrating because of the melter roll, and the damage roll is +3 because they're also open topped as well as melter for AP1. 2 explode results and lots of dead Medusa bits. Fantastic news! If you look very carefully, you will see shards of Medusa all over the Fellblade and the dead Grave Warden that the explosion killed. Unfortunately, the resulting explosion did take 2 more Dathans with it, but job well done. The Raven Guard Rhino fired combi bolters into the Grave Wardens, causing 2 hits and 2 wounds. Unfortunately, 2 saves were passed. The Raven Guard Contemptor stumbled to his feet after being stunned in the last turn, aimed his plasma blaster at the tactical squad through the window. Bit of an eye of a needle shot, but unfortunately for the Death Guard, vaporised a tactical marine. The Raven Guard Praevian fired at the tactical squad with his Volkite Serpenter, causing a hit, therefore activating the designated Cortex. The Vorax Battle Automata then taking advantage of that, fired with the Lightning Gun and twin rotor cannons, causing 8 hits and killing 2 tactical marines. Raven Guard Land Rover Achilles firing at the Death Shroud. The multi-melter scored a hit, unfortunately passed a cover save. The quad launcher fired at the same unit, caused 2 hits, unfortunately only causing 1 wound. The second multi-melter has no line of sight currently. Raven Guard Stormblade fired a big ball of superheated plasma over here at the Fellblade. Also hit the Grave Warden Terminators, of which it killed all of them, leaving Typhon standing by himself. The Fellblade itself took a single hull point of damage from the las cannon after the plasma blast gun failed to do any damage at all. Stormblade fired its second las cannon sponsor at the Contemptor, causing a weapon destroyed result, which removes one of the twin las cannons and removes the second hull point. The Stormblade sponsored heavy bolter taking a shot at the tactical squad in front of the Contemptor, killing 1 Space Marine. Raven Guard Xiphon zoomed onto the board, firing everything at the Leviathan. We have removed the Melter Lance, thankfully, and another hull point. Unfortunately, the missiles failed to do any damage at all. Raven Guard Scimitar jet bikes have fired 2 of their 3 multi-melters at the Death Shroud. Unfortunately, the other one was out of arc, and we did kill 1. Raven Guard Assault Phase in turn 2. The Vorax and Praevian charged the Death Guard tactical squad. The Overwatch attack caused 1 hit and a wound, which was save. Hammer of Wrath failed to do any damage, and now we're rolling for the Vorax's attacks, hitting on 4s. It's 3 hits, and because of the AP2 monstrous creatures, we are killing on 2s. 3 dead. Legion Praevian attacking now. He should have struck at initiative 5, but he's going to attack now instead. With 5 attacks, it's 3 base, +1 for 2 close combat weapons, and +1 for the charge. So hitting on 3s. 5 hits, and we'll be wounding on 4s. Just the 1.
3 up armor save. Passed. Death Guard Tactical Squad hitting back. 7 attacks. 4s to hit. 4 hits. 6s to wound due to the toughness of the Vorax. 2 wounds. No AP.
4 up saves to the Vorax. Fail both.
2 wounds.
2 wounds. End of Raven Guard Assault Phase. Vorax did manage to kill a few Death Guard Marines. Unfortunately, took 2 wounds back himself. They are now locked in combat, having Death Guard having passed the leadership test. Good round for me, I think. Did quite a lot of damage. The Raven Guard nicely poised, I think. So we'll see what Death Guard do next.
Death Guard movement, turn 3. Typhon has moved through cover through the remains of the shattered Medusas, ready to line up a charge on the Mordathan. Fellblade stayed where it was. The Death Shroud have moved a little closer so they can join the tactical squad in close combat. The heavy weapons squad have moved forward, hoping to get a few snapshots at the Land Raider. The Leviathan decided to pop out from the side of the building, aiming to take some damage to the jet bikes. Attack squad have moved up into the trench line. The Contemptor has stayed still, activating his helical targeting array so we can take a shot at the Xiphon. And the remaining tactical squad in cover have moved up, see if they can move around into the deployment zone. Death Guard Psychic Phase turn 3. Typhon failed to activate hallucination on the Mordathan. Death Guard shooting phase turn 3. Contemptor opened up on the Xiphon with his helical targeting array, hitting. Unfortunately, the Xiphon passed his jink. Death Guard tactical squad opened fire on the jet bikes. 14 shots, 11 hits, 4 wounds. All his saves passed, unfortunately. Death Guard Leviathan, missing his right arm, opened up on the jet bikes with his remaining melter gun and heavy flamers. Heavy flamers, 5 hits, unfortunately failing to wound any. The melter gun then took a shot and killed the first bike. The Death Guard Master Signal called up to the ships in orbit, calling an orbital strike down onto the Dark Furies, killing 2 of them outright. The 5 more wounds, unfortunately, tanked on the Praetor. The Death Guard Heavy Weapon Squad, having moved through the terrain, took snapshots at the remaining Dark Furies. Unfortunately, all shots missed with aircraft missiles. Typhon opens up with his Chem Flamer, killing the first Mordathan. Fellblade opens up on the Stormblade. Multiple hits from the Fellblade Accelerator Cannon and the Las Cannon, unfortunately passing all of his cover saves. The left sponson opened up again on the Contemptor, taking out his last hull point and exploding him. End of Death Guard shooting turn 3. Unfortunately not as successful as hoped. However, we've got the Death Shroud and Typhon ready for some successful charges, hopefully. Death Guard assault phase turn 3. The Leviathan charged into the jet bikes, suffering a glancing hit on the way in, failing both his Hammer of Wrath attacks, unfortunately, but hopefully he'll chew through these bikes in the coming assault. The Death Shroud have now piled in to assault the Praven and Vorax. Meanwhile, Typhon, having taken a melter hit to the face during charge, passed with a 6-up invuln. The Leviathan swings into the jet bikes, hitting on 3s with 4 attacks. All hits, killing the jet bikes on 2s. That is 1 dead jet bike and a very bad roll. After the combat, the remaining jet bike has no weapons to harm the Leviathan. However, he did pass his leadership test, meaning they are now locked in combat. At the end of the combat, due to our weapons are useless, the jet bike fell back 12 inches. Leviathan consolidated 5 inches back into cover.
Next assault, combat between the Praevian, Vorax, the Raven Guard, and the Death Shroud and Death Guard Tactical Squad. Praevian strikes at initiative 5, 4 hits against the Tactical Squad, and failed to wound.
The Tactical Squad took swings at the remaining Vorax, scoring 2 hits, 1 wound, failing its save.
The Vorax struck back before he died, causing absolutely no attacks to hit whatsoever.
Striking initiative 3, the Death Shroud swung their scythes, taking down the Praven with multiple blows, failing all of his invuln saves. They then consolidated 5 inches along with the Tactical Squad towards the Raven Guard deployment zone.
Next combat saw the Mordathan attack Typhon at initiative 4. 3 hits, 1 wound which Typhon saved, and the Shroud bombs mean he gets less than 1 attack for charging.
Typhon then swung back with his mastercrafted scythe, scoring 4 hits, wiping down the unit, then consolidating 1 inch towards the back of the Rhino. End of Death Guard turn 3, successfully cleared out the centre lines, moving up into cover again. The Death Guard are now successfully moving across the board.
Raven Guard turn 3 movement. This Rhino down here by the Fellblade has decided to get as far away from Typhon as possible. We have the Dark Furies and Praetor have jumped down to assault the Heavy Weapon Squad. The Rhino carrying the Tactical Squad that was up by the Town Hall has moved down the steps. The Xiphon has flown over the top of the steps and is lining up shots for the Death Shroud. The Stormblade has backed up a little bit just so he's up harm's way from the Leviathan. The jet bike has moved up in the way of the Leviathan to try and prevent, hopefully, a charge. The Land Raider Achilles has stayed put and is going to be firing at multiple units shortly. Raven Guard turn 3 shooting. Land Raider Achilles opened up with its quad launcher and 1 multi-melter at the Tactical Squad. In the middle, all but 1 person died. He unfortunately passed his morale check. But happily, the other multi-melter hit a big hole in the back of the Leviathan Dreadnought and has now been replaced by a big pile of smoke. Raven Guard Rhino, this end of the board, fired his combi bolt at the last remaining Death Guard Tactical Marine. Unfortunately, he didn't hit him. The Xiphon then opened up, snap firing because of its previous jink at the Death Shroud. Did cause a wound with the las cannon, but unfortunately an invulnerable save was passed. The Praetor shot his bolt pistol at the Death Guard heavy weapon squad, caused a hit, but unfortunately an armor save prevented the wound. And then the Rhino, from the steps there, fired its combi bolter, snap fired it and moved 12, failing to hit. Raven Guard Stormblade opening up with his big arsenal of weapons now. The las cannon fired at the Contemptor from the left sponson, unfortunately missed. The heavy bolters in the sponson opened up on the tactical squad and killed one. Coaxial heavy bolter in the centre fired at the Death Shroud, did hit but didn't wound. The right hand sponson las cannon fired at the Fellblade, did hit but failed to penetrate, and the heavy bolter sponson fired at the Death Shroud and caused 2 wounds, I think, and then they were saved. Now it's the big plasma blast gun. Stormblade's giant plasma blast gun fired its huge template at the Death Shroud. Unfortunately, it was a big scatter, but it did land on 3 of them and killed 2. Raven Guard turn 3 assault phase. The Dark Furies and Praetor charged the heavy weapon squad. The Dark Furies sat around sharpening their claws while the Praetor went and absolutely diced everybody in the unit. They then consolidated towards the Master of Signal. End of Raven Guard turn 3. Not bad, pretty successful. I'm happy the Leviathan's gone up. I'm happy the heavy weapon squad are dead. I think it's very evenly poised currently, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Death Guard do next.
Death Guard movement turn 4. The Tactical Support Squad Flamers have advanced through the buildings again. The Tactical Squad at the front have advanced up through the trench line. Once again, the Contemptor staying still with his helical targeting array aiming at the Xiphon. The Master of Signals has moved away from the Dark Furies just to free up space for the Demolisher Cannon on the Fellblade to take a shot. The Death Shroud and the remaining Tactical Squad have moved closer towards the deployment zone, whilst Callous Typhon in the corner has moved into a bit of cover. Death Guard shooting turn 4. The Tactical Squad opened up on the remaining jet bike, scoring 3 hits, causing 2 wounds, failing 1 of his saves, removing him from the table. Death Guard Contemptor, using his helical targeting array, targeted the Xiphon, took a shot, scoring a glancing hit. Unfortunately, he passed his jink. The Fellblade, using his accelerator cannon and the left sponson for the las cannons, opened up on the Stormblade, taking 3 hull points. Final round of shooting from the Fellblade. The Demolisher Cannon and the quad las cannons open up on the Dark Furies, killing the Chooser of the Slain and removing 2 Dark Furies. End of turn 4 for the Death Guard. Quite happy with some of the kills. We've cleared a lot of units out the centre of the board. Hopefully we can consolidate in the next turn.
Raven Guard turn 4 movement. Starting with the Rhino down here, previously carried the Mordathan. He's decided to just pivot and try and be a little bit of a pest and pepper Typhon with some bolter fire. The surviving Dark Fury and Praetor have split now into separate units and have jumped over the building out of the way of the horrible Demolisher Cannon. This second Rhino has just moved a little bit more into cover, block line of sight hopefully. The last Tactical Squad have arrived, outflanking in the Rhino at the top by the Town Hall. The Stormblade has moved, unfortunately, back facing the Fellblade, but hopefully can get some shots off at the scoring units at the top here in the building. And the Land Rover Achilles has pulled back a little bit just so it can get a bead on the Death Shroud with the Melters. Turn 4 shooting for the Raven Guard. The Pest was not quite as much a pest as I'd hoped. Did shoot a Typhon but failed to cause a wound. The Land Raider Achilles fired both Melters at the Death Shroud, turning one to a big blob of mulch, and the quad mortar fired snapshots, caused a wound but failed a bit past his save. Stormblade shooting the Tactical Squad behind the barricades. Heavy bolters from the sponson and las cannon, as well as a coaxial heavy bolter, fired at the squad and killed 1 Marine. Did cause another wound, but he passed a cover save. Stormblade opened up on the Contemptor with his remaining las cannon and nicely punched a hole like a hot knife through butter, and there is now a big pile of wreckage. Stormblade fired its big plasma blast gun point blank range at the squad in the building. Unfortunately, as is the Raven Guard order of the day, it was a huge scatter, came backwards and landed on the Tactical Squad outside the front of the Town Hall, killing 5 of them. Not a bad turn for the Raven Guard. End of turn 4. Would like to have done more damage to the squads in the building, but overall, the Raven Guard can be pretty happy with that, I think.
Death Guard turn 5 movement. The Tactical Squad with support weapons have moved up through cover again through the buildings. They're now on the edge of the enemy deployment zone, so we need another turn. The remains of the Tactical Squad have also moved up, hoping again to get into the deployment zone next turn, though I'm not sure we have enough. The Death Shroud and remaining Tactical Marine have again moved up into the deployment zone. The Tactical Marine is only just in the zone, so he needs another turn as well. The Fellblade has moved up, lining up all its weapons on the Stormblade, hoping we can take it out this turn. Typhon has moved out of cover, heading towards the pest of a Rhino. Hopefully we can remove that from the table. Last remaining unit is the Master of Signal, again hoping for another turn so we can get around the corner and a few pot shots at the Dark Fury and Praetor. Death Guard shooting, turn 5. The only unit taking shots this turn is the Fellblade. His primary target is that Stormblade. We've rolled hit with the Accelerator Cannon, we've got a direct hit. Rolling for Armor Pen. Primary weapon, so 3d6, choosing the 2 highest with Armor Bane. We have a pen. Take your 4-up cover save. Oh!
Lost.
Sponson quad las cannons will now open up. Twin linked shots, 4 shots. Reroll 2 twin linked. 4 hits. Side armor 13, needing 4s to glance. 2 pens.
2 cover saves. Passed.
Demolisher cannon, scoring a direct hit. Rolling to pen again. Strength 10, ordnance. We have a glance.
Cover save. Passed.
Passed. That is extremely disappointing. End of Death Guard shooting, turn 4. Very disappointed not to remove the Stormblade, given all the firepower that was thrown at it and hit. End of Death Guard, turn 5 assault phase. Typhon charged the Rhinos successfully. 5 attacks, 4 hits, needing 5s to glance. We scored 2 glancing hits, 1 penetrating hit, and exploded it. Quite happy with the payback, having failed to destroy the Stormblade, and removing a denial unit from the Raven Guard.
Raven Guard turn 5 movement. Possibly the last turn, so a few key decisions to be made. The remaining Dark Fury has jumped forward to try and assault the Master of Signal when it comes to the assault phase. Praetor has decided discretion is the better part of Valor and is hiding like a sneaky raven behind the building. The first Rhino has now spilled its tactical squad out into the building, into a scoring position. Second Rhino has done exactly the same thing into the Town Hall at the far end. Stormblade has repositioned in the hope of removing all the remaining Death Guard tactical marines on top. The XIXth has come back on from ongoing reserves and will probably fire either the Fellblade or the remaining tactical marine, almost scoring. And the Land Raider Achilles has repositioned in order to try and remove the last Death Shroud. Raven Guard turn 5 shooting phase. The Land Raider Achilles fired its quad mortar and 1 multi-melter that had a firing on the Death Shroud. Did cause wounds, but unfortunately all the saves have been passed. XIXth opened its shooting phase up by firing at the last remaining tactical marine. It didn't take long to kill him in all honesty, but I needed to remove a scoring unit from the board. The Death Shroud was not really a viable target given his save and cover, but the marine was very much in the open. Stormblade opens up its shooting phase at the last 2 tactical marines nearest to the tank. 2 las cannons hit, but unfortunately cover saves were passed. Then the heavy bolters on the sponson on the right hand side opened up and killed 1. Stormblade's remaining heavy bolters on sponsons and coaxial centre shot at the tactical support squad at the top, and didn't kill anybody because they passed all their saves. Stormblade's final shot with the big plasma blast gun. Unfortunately, the Death Guard were just raising their flag in the deployment zone when a big bolt of superheated plasma landed on their faces, and now they're all dead. Raven Guard turn 5 assault phase. The Dark Fury very smugly charged into the Master of Signal, did not make a single wound, and promptly was struck back in the face and died.
Potential end of the game. Death Guard really need 1 more turn to try and score a few more points. Roll for it and see what happens. 4 up. Turn 6. Death Guard movement, turn 6. Remaining Death Shroud is consolidated into the deployment zone, hoping to survive the oncoming barrage, score a point in the end of the turn. Typhon, not going to move, as he is now calling up to orbital support with a chem bombardment, hopefully coming in soon. Master of Signal has moved round, hoping to get a few shots onto the Praetor, If I'm lucky, maybe get a Warlord kill. Meanwhile, the Fellblade moved so perfectly lined up shots, no cover saves for the Stormblade. Hopefully we can finally kill this thing. The remaining Tactical Marine has moved into deployment zone again. The lone guy hoping to score that 1 point. We'll see what the shooting phase brings. Death Guard turn 6 shooting phase. Using the Master of Signals line of sight, Typhon called down the chem bombardment onto the remaining tac squad in the deployment zone, scoring 2 hits with the templates, 3 Marines dead. Fellblade threw everything it possibly could into the Stormblade. Unfortunately, the left sponsons hit, but passed their cover saves. All the remaining weapons fired into it, taking out 3 more hull points, leaving it with 2. No more I could possibly do. Death Guard turn 6 assault phase. The final strikes of the Death Guard. Master of Signal charged into the Praetor, unfortunately taking a wound from Overwatch, scored 1 hit in his attacks and failed to wound.
Praetor then struck back, 6 hits, caused 4 wounds, 2 were saved. Unfortunately, 2 rending hits did the damage, and I was able to consolidate 1 inch. Raven Guard turn 6, final turn. Land Raider Achilles has moved to get a bead on the remaining Death Shroud. It's going to be do or die with a single multi-melt shot, I suspect. The Xiphon has decided to try and eliminate Typhon with all the extreme prejudice I can muster. Praetor has moved just for movement's sake. There's not really much more he can do at this point. Both tactical squads and rhinos are in scoring and denial positions. The Stormblade has repositioned to throw everything he possibly can at one poor solitary Marine. Raven Guard turn 6 shooting. Land Raider Achilles fired a multi-melter at the Death Shroud, but unfortunately missed. The quad launcher fired 4 shots snap shooting, did score a hit, but unfortunately passed his save. And the last multi-melter pivoted around to try and take a whole point off the Fellblade. Did succeed, but then a cover save was rolled and that was successful. Raven Guard Xiphon unloaded at Typhon. Missiles, las cannons galore. Unfortunately, he passed every single invulnerable save. Raven Guard Stormblade took a shot at the Fellblade with his las cannon. Did hit, but didn't cause any damage. Decided to fire everything else at the one remaining Death Guard Space Marine in a scoring position. He was killed with the heavy bolters, which ends the game, and now we'll tot up victory points.
That's it. Oh, wow, what a game. My heart was in my mouth the whole time around. Unreal.
Yeah, I've been sweating.
Yeah.
Stressful.
Tense is the only word I can use to describe it. Very, very tense.
It was, wasn't it? I was so surprised you both had your Lord of Wars left at the end of the game.
Yeah, me too. And Warlords.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
I don't know how I threw everything at that thing,
Yeah.
and you just passed so many cover saves.
It's made of cheese. It's
Yeah.
very good, very good.
Your cover saves were amazing.
They were.
throughout
I
the
did
game.
pass a
Turn-
lot of
turn
cover saves.
5.
Lots of cover saves.
You passed
All of them.
6 cover saves.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
needed?
yeah. Stopped it all dead, which I needed to do really because that was this was the game changer. It's did a lot of
Yeah.
heavy lifting in terms of destroying scoring units. And
That-
stuff.
I think,
Template. Just
yeah.
Yeah,
hit
so
a
it's
unit
horrific,
and it's
isn't it? It's just
bad.
a delete button.
If you'd taken out, I mean, you got it down to it had 2 whole points left in the
2 left.
game.
Job,
Yeah.
except, yeah.
If you'd done the business in turn 5, you would have had a lot more units in these Raven Guard deployment zone. You would have scored a whole heap more points.
we would have had the last guys from the tactical squad. We'd have had an entire flamer squad.
Yeah, so that's 4 victory
That's
points,
4 gone.
plus 1 for killing that,
Yeah.
5, which leads us on to the scores beautifully. Now, as we just mentioned, if the Stormblade had died, you would have got a lot more points.
Mm-hmm.
But as it stands, you got a lone.
The lone Death Shroud
With him-
survives a lot of fire from
I
the.
did try to
the
kill him a
Achilles, you
lot.
did.
I did try to kill
He
him
threw a lot
Just
at him, but
smiled and kept walking.
he made it.
Frustrating.
He
Yeah.
did me proud.
So implacable advance on those Death Shrouds, scored 2 victory points for the Raven Guard deployment zone, and that was your total score, 2 points.
That was it.
An admirable effort to get Death Shroud from one end of the table to the other without a transport or a Spartan. Did a great job.
Mhm.
So good work there. But the victor of the day smashed 8 points.
Yeah.
Holy
I
balls!
think it's the ability for these Raven Guard to outflank in transports is stellar for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
They just came on a deployment zone in the back end, 2 tactical squads, hidden their rhinos until pretty much the last turn. and out they pop, hide into buildings, and it's easy points really at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good. I'm still disappointed that my Dark Fury died when he charged the Master of Signal. Still not over that. But yeah, very, very good. And the attrition for killing one more unit than Ollie managed to kill.
Absolutely. Yeah, that attrition point was really, really close. Again, from Ollie's point of view, if you'd done the Stormblade, that would have leveled that up. And
well, you got +1 as well. Actually, when you see got the Lord of War.
Yeah,
that was funny.
But it wouldn't have killed. It wouldn't have destroyed the 2 units that the Stormblade took at the last turn. Then you would have got so you would have got the attrition. So it all hinged on your cover saves, really, didn't it?
That turn 5 shooting round, that was it. That swung it completely.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was good fun.
I think the train really helped just kind of mitigate a lot of the firepower that came in. So, I was a little bit worried that there was 2 Lord of Wars here, the Fellblade and the Stormblade, but I think ultimately they didn't dominate as much as I thought they were going to. But also as well, your Achilles was kind of hemmed in, wasn't it? It kind of just turned on the spot.
I had a lack of places to put it really once I put this down, so it just kind of sat in the brewing building,
back and forth,
rotating, just picking targets. Sometimes it could shoot, sometimes it couldn't shoot. Apparently still couldn't kill 1 Death Shroud, but so be it.
Mortarian's favoured.
Yeah, it's good. Where he can sit on his field of defeat happily.
It's all about those line of sight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's crucial.
I loved the effort at the end with the Xiphon trying to pip Typhon to his death, but
that looks cinematic in my head. Unfortunately, he saved everything.
You did some amazing saves.
A handful of 6s was enough.
It was quite tense when you were like, oh, but it did it in the end. So great. It was a very, very good looking game. These 2 armies are fantastic. As we talked about painting black on Raven Guard, it's a hard thing to do, and I think you've got it really, really well done. So it looks fantastic. And the gold accent on some of the models as well looks great. And Death Guard, well, the dirtier the better, I guess.
Yeah. As I said earlier, you can't have clean Death Guard. It's just wrong.
Absolutely. So they look fantastic. I really enjoyed the game. I really hope you did too. Let's talk a little bit about, you've got some extracurricular activities, haven't you? So let's start with you, Ollie. What you got?
So we've got 2 clubs locally. I've got the Ambrosden Gaming Club just outside Bicester. There's a few of us playing Heresy there. It's picking up a little bit. I've also got the Oxford Outriders based in centre of Oxford, so a few guys there playing too. So,
is there a Facebook page people can find you at?
Again,
good for the club.
Ambrosden Gaming Club or Oxford Outriders, both on Facebook.
Great stuff. And you can join the group and get in contact. And if you are in the Oxford area, please go and check that club out.
Come and say hi, come and play.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you play other systems as well as 30k?
I play a lot of games.
Okay. So there's lots on offer.
A very wide variety, yeah.
Okay. Good stuff.
There's a lot of people at the club who are, again, playing other games too. So if you can think of a game system, the chances are someone will be there playing it.
Great stuff. Good. What we got?
So yeah, I'm part of a team that run events now on the South Coast. We're called Attrition Gaming. You may or may not be able to see the t-shirt here. Nice bit of product placement. We do mainly 40k events at the moment, but we have a first 30k event in July, which sold out very, very quickly. So I'm sure we'll do another one soon.
Great.
We're on Facebook. Just look at Attrition Gaming. It's the logo of a grenade, and that's us. There's the email address, Attrition Gaming Events, if you'd like to email us and find out a bit more.
Great stuff, thank you. Now, I've taken loads of photos of this game, so please go to the Facebook page when this game is released. Check those photos out. You can also contact either of these gents by their own Instagram, and if you've got any specific questions about the list, how they played a particular thing, why they didn't shoot that unit or not the other, ask them directly because they're the guys that did the move. So, Ollie, where can we find you on Instagram?
Instagram is Ollie's_wargaming_minis.
Fantastic.
Mine's Tyken's Rift, all one word. So it's TYKENSRIFT.
Great, and if I've done my job, they've just appeared underneath, so fingers crossed. I haven't had a late night editing video. Not really much more to say. Amazing game. Loved it. Really great to have some Raven Guard. I know we had Raven Guard, Death Guard in the last game at the beginning of the month, but it's really great to have them back. So I think you've had a good day.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Definitely.
It's been a late day, though.
Yes,
I think, we started at 6, majority of us, and now it's...
As he was summing it up, it was a hard slog.
I think it's 7:30, 8 now at night.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's quite late. So thank you so much for your efforts.
No problem. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure to have you. And we would love to see these guys back. So hopefully we can set something up with them in the future. All it remains to say again, great game. Thank you. And we will see you in the next game.